It's the Frickin' Frack Show, a podcast for the fans by
This
the
is the
fans.
Frickin' Frack Show, a podcast for the fans by the fans.
Frickin' Frack Show, a podcast for the fans by the fans.
All right, guys, you're watching the Frickin' Frack Show podcast for the
fans by the fans.
My man.
It's Tuesday. No, it's Monday. Oh, no, is it Tuesday?
It's Monday. It's Monday.
Oh, it's Monday, man. What's happening?
Nothing, man. Just one of these drop-in episodes that's going to be off the charts, man. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it, man. The guy we have on is really, really awesome. We've been speaking for quite a while. Been actually really excited about getting him on. So this is actually kind of like what you can say a dream come true.
Yeah, man. I love we started this to get the stories behind backstage, what goes on, pre-performance, and today's one of those episodes where somebody gets to come on and tell their story, man. Who we having on tonight, my guy?
All right, we got Mr. Marco Carulli.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? What's going on, guys?
I almost said cannoli. I'm sorry.
You know what? You wouldn't be the first, and you wouldn't be the first to say polo either. So, I heard them all.
That's good, man. That was actually really good.
That's right.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on tonight, man.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. I really enjoy you guys, and I enjoy your show. It hits me right, right where it's my music right there. What you guys talk about.
It is and will forever always be, man.
Don't change, man. Don't change.
Yeah,
man. We started this thing to have people come on and help through the pandemic when it was dark, and it's turned into having people come on and stories, and tonight we're excited to have you tell yours, man.
Oh man, I appreciate that. It's an interesting story for a city kid, from Philly. To where I started and where I'm at now, so I think it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
But it's great that I connected with you guys through Trevor, really,
Yeah.
So I think this is awesome. This is a great story, man. Just with everybody, with all of us,
Yeah. That's true, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I guess how you can start is tell us, let's go ahead and go from the beginning.
Man, I met this kid from Mississippi. Sorry. Mississippi's name is P. Lane. Talented guy. Heard the music, and I was like, what is that? So I met him through a friend. They flew him here to Jersey. Kid never left this podunk town in Mississippi. So I met him face to face, and we became friendly, and I loved his music. And, with that being said, he said, can you help me out? I don't know anything about, the music industry. So we basically, came up with some stuff, some ideas, and we traveled through the music business ourselves. The pitfalls we learned. I can't tell you how much I learned. When basically P Lane had a genre that he was kind of attached to called country rap, which I had no idea what country rap was. I'm a city kid, and he did pretty well. He had a nice following, and before you know it, we're booking shows with, to open up for Lil Nas X.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And those were the shows, unfortunately, that he canceled.
Oh, well, that's
right. So we flew out to Arizona, got to the venue, mic checked, getting ready, and he cancels. So it's like, yeah, so that's a whole different story. But basically that's where I got my start was with P Lane, and I had other artists under me and that I worked with and helped out, and I had to start a company called Home Team Management. And we did some nice things. We did some really good things for beginners, And that was my start into the business, was with P Lane, who's still like a little brother to me, and he the pandemic hit and he went a different way right now to kind of get his own business up, and he kind of put music on hold, and so that's where I started, was country rap, believe it or not. Yeah, I was in a magazine over there, Country Rap magazine. It was insane, Yeah, it was different culture, obviously.
Yeah,
in country rap. But we navigated through the business, and I got him a single deal with an independent company, and we put out a record called Bottles, Miles, and Shots, and we're about to hit, I think after like 4 years, we're about to hit 1 million streams, which is pretty good for a first single, first time.
Wow.
We built up a social media, and that's where I really made my bones at first, and took a lot of hits and a lot of losses, him and I together. So yeah.
And it's really good that you recognize the good and the bad. Like you said, you've had hits and you've had a lot of losses.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people, it seems like we tell our guests, don't be afraid to talk about the dirty, the grit. I mean, we're not going to ask anything crazy, but like, it's good to have recognition of the of you being, standing on your own 2 feet to, being kicked to the ground.
Yeah. I'll never BS you guys. I'll never BS anybody. It's what it is, man.
Yeah.
Look it up. Like look, you can look everything up and see what the deal is. Like, there's no need for me to BS.
Yeah.
To BS everybody. It's stupid. I mean, a lot of people are out there faking the funk with their music, and and they're buying views, they're buying streams, and it's like, you can't get that over me. I know what fake streams look like. I know. Yeah. I've learned all that during this process behind the scenes and releasing music. So. But unfortunately, pandemic hit and we lost all our shows, obviously, right? Cancel all the shows. Yeah. And, and I was done in music, guys. I was done. I didn't want to do it anymore at that point. Yeah.
I would feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we move on from that, you had brought up a good point about social media and the streaming, right? So it's quite a bit of a different, but the artists that you're working with now grew up in. So how was that adjustment for you? I mean, to come up in a time where you do have all these tools and resources for you.
It's I'm not gonna say it's easier, because you have your good and a bad. Like it's, when we were younger, we dreamt of the deal. I want to get signed to a deal. Wow. I want to get that $500,000. I want to get signed to a label, right? And you get that upfront money. Now you're not getting that unless you. Most of the time, you're not getting it unless you show some sort of fan base, right? I mean, Post Malone got his after he sold, a ton of records on his own independently. There's still that aspect where and we can talk about it later, that you can get artists signed and everything. There's still that aspect of it in developing. But today, man, it's a lot different because of the streaming and the downloads and it's not just how many downloads count as a record purchase. I think it's like 10 downloads equals 100 downloads equals one. It's something like that. There's a formula where they count. So if we have 100,000 streams, they may be however many albums singles sold. It's a whole math thing that I have written down somewhere, and I just at this point I'm not in it for the money. So at this point I'm like, whatever, I'm in it to try to help people and
Yeah, it's a completely different world, man. It's
different
insane.
ball game.
I hear a lot of the people that we grew up listening to talk about transition and how it did take a while, but it really took off when it did, and I don't think there's any looking back now. I mean, we're full in it and more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, dealing with Trevor, from O-Town, he really wasn't familiar with, with how it worked, and we could talk about that more, going along. But he wasn't familiar with as much as I was able to put him on to some things that I've learned, and as far as being an artist who came up without all the streaming and the he's a legit platinum recording artist, with albums sold, little, physical
albums. I know it's crazy to think. It's crazy to think. It's wild.
That is crazy to think. Totally different ball game.
Dude, and I mean,
visor.
That's crazy, man. I mean, you can even look back, and think about, all the records that people sold. You can even go even further back and talk about the vinyls that were sold, which,
right.
In the last few years, vinyls have just made this huge comeback where, even the newest artists and newest, albums released, they're now in vinyl.
Right.
It blows my mind, but I mean, it's
crazy.
Also, yeah, it is. And it's really, really cool and all, but, streaming is just the aspect ratio of it. It's just so wide.
Yeah.
Nowadays if somebody wants to listen to a song, they can go, type it on Google or YouTube and it's there immediately, Yeah,
it's it's hard, it's hard to make it a music business to begin with, but it doesn't hurt to have the social media, at your fingertips to help you, so
definitely,
it's definitely a plus. I see people are in the comments now. You guys are right. People are commenting. Hello, everybody.
Let us know where you're watching from, everybody. To go on with the topic that we're talking about. You guys could be from all corners of the world right now and watching at the same time. That's wild, right? Let us know where you're watching.
It's awesome. Shauna, Debbie, Jamie, Jesse B. What's up, everybody? All right, this is awesome. It's great.
All right, man. So the Lil Nas X concerts get canceled, right? Or they
get canceled.
What happens after that, man?
Well, we get back and we start booking some spring break shows. A couple in Arizona, Lake Havasu, open up for Riff Raff, things like that. They're coming down the line. They all get canceled. All of them. Pandemic hits, right? That's it, right? We talk about what we're going to do, and as the pandemic was supposed to last 2 weeks, we're a year into it, and it's like, we had to have that conversation. And, my man Preston P. Lane said, look, I'm going to focus on opening my own business, and he's thriving. I mean, I couldn't be more happy for the kid, and he's going to put music out, and he's going to put it out with me, and we're going to continue it whenever he wants. Mm-hmm. But I took, I was done. I was done with music until I got a message from Mike Caputo on Facebook, a guy who don't know him from anything, didn't know him from anything. I knew him from LFO, I should say, for 20 some years. I said, man, I can't sing, I can't dance. Hey, maybe I'll be like Mike Caputo, right?
Yeah.
This guy messages me, I like your style, bro. And that's basically what it was. So we go back and forth, and he gives me some, words of encouragement, and, hey man, I see what you're doing. Let's keep an open dialogue. And in the open dialogue, it was pretty much, where we're at right now. And it's like, I trust you. I mean, he trusts me with the show this weekend, as you guys all know. And Brad, and moving forward, I'm part of his team, and it's just an honor. And his words of encouragement, I bounced back from his words of encouragement. He made me. I sat back and said, okay, what do I want to do? Okay, and then luckily I see Trevor post, hey, I'm in, Jersey. I'm on the East Coast, Jersey. What are you doing in Jersey? Message him, hey, where you at? He tells me where he's at. I'm like, you're 7 minutes from my house.
Wow.
So I reach out. I said, listen, I know you want to do music, solo music. Let me take you out to dinner. Let's talk about it. He reaches out. He said, "Okay, I'll call you." We had a couple conversations. He let me hear a bunch of songs, and the one song that obviously, was his baby, and he said it, and he made it well known that it's his baby, and we have to treat it with, as such. Was Sin City.
Yep.
And it was a banger to me. I absolutely. Yeah. It was Will Smith's Miami to me.
Yeah,
right.
That's what it was.
And that's exactly right.
Yep.
And and thus we began talking about everything. And in the meantime, he did me a solid and got on my artist, Alyssa, her song called "How It Go." He dropped a little verse on there. She was the first artist I wanted to work with. She's singer-songwriter, so talented young lady.
Wow.
And there was born Home Team Music, again, a label, which I wasn't trying to be a label owner, but it worked out that way. And we put out that song with Alyssa and Trevor, and it did very well. It did very well.
Yeah.
And so, that was Home Team Music was born from that, and still at the same time talking to Mike Caputo, kind of figuring out, what my role is going to be there. And he just kind of, and the thing about him is it's never an I, it's always we up until a conversation right before the show. You got to get to Boston. We got to do this. We got to do this. It's like, man, this is the real deal. So he brought me back into the music, and Alyssa and Trevor really stoked that fire. I gave them a vision of what I wanted, and man, they killed it on that song. So so Mike brought me back into it, and we were off and running.
Was there any hesitation to come back?
No, because I have so much respect for Mike Caputo.
Yeah.
As a I didn't know him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I knew him as a successful manager. What he did with LFO. Yeah. What he did with other maybe lesser known artists that he got signed.
Mm-hmm.
Think developed. I would follow some of the stuff he did, and so I definitely had a lot of respect for Caputo. So I didn't think twice, man. I did not think twice about it at all.
So what's crazy about this is I've never told this story, but pretty much one of my very first conversations I've ever had with Mike was in an elevator. We were going to the O-Town show, and he was just putting things in the elevator. It was just me and him. Right. And he looked at me. He's like, what's wrong with you, man? He's like, because I use a cane because I had back surgery.
Okay.
And then he started, saying all the things that he went through, and it was like a quick 30-second conversation, but that's when I kind of had a little, started gaining respect for a man who's in that much pain and the stuff he had to endure over the years, which is so crazy, because he to me, he's one of those guys that, he's like a teddy bear, Yeah,
he likes to hug me a lot. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's a great guy.
He was really cool at Sweet Stock too, man. He was super nice. I mean, he's
a great guy.
Yeah.
He gets it. Like, he gets the music business. He gets it, man. He knows it. He's like, his I sound like an old guy saying Rolodex, but his contact list is phenomenal. I mean, I'm not going to say who he knows, but we have two artists we're working with. Mm-hmm. His company's called Music Ball. He's got two artists that he's working with. He's got Carly Underwood, who's a Jersey girl, lives close to me. Phenomenal singer, beautiful smoke show, great, beautiful, but and the personality, like she's the whole package. Yeah. And then we have Marley, who's a 13-year-old singer actor from Boston that he's working with, who I'm heading up to Boston on the 5th to do her movie premiere. She did a movie with Denzel.
Oh,
and then she's got and then she's got her own short film that's out. So in Boston, they're doing a big movie premiere for it. It's going to show up at the festivals and stuff up in Boston. I think it's called Nickname. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Wow.
And it's a red carpet thing. So I'm going up to Boston for just a quick flight, quick flight home. Yeah. So, there's a lot going on with the development of some artists there that I'm working with him on.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's LFO and that there's the Pop 2K tour, which, is moving along. It's on the last leg for the year. Starting tomorrow in Nashville, which I was supposed to be on, but I came home, didn't go on it.
I wanted to go, but it's like I think 14 hours away, and I was like, I can't do it.
It's a tough one, man. Yeah.
Because I was talking to Floyd the other day, and he was like, "You should really come. It's close to Louisiana." I said, "It is, but not Morgan City. It's all the way south."
Right.
I would, but again, I know we hadn't talked about this, but the LFO and O-Town shows that I've gone to, which is now twice in the last month or so, have been phenomenal. Unlike most concerts I've ever been to and got to be a part of, and it's just fun,
The guys. Let me tell you something. The guys are awesome.
Mm-hmm. They are.
The guys are awesome. Everybody on the tour is awesome.
Yep.
The whole crew. Mark McGrath. If you look at some of my social media, we're doing shots together, and we're talking, and he's literally asking me about Trevor and I and the song and how, what do we do? I mean, it's just surreal. I think you used that word before we got on, Frank. It was surreal, and that's a good way to sum it up. It's a little surreal to be back there, and just looking around, and I'm like, messing with Dan, we're telling jokes, and I look over, and these guys, I watch these guys on TV develop, and Brad, they had the girl. I mean, Girl on TV is one of my favorite songs.
Me too.
Every other time, it's fabulous. Summer Girls. I mean, you can't.
No.
What am I doing here?
It's incredible because Matt and I feel exactly the same way, because we got to do a lot at Sweet Stock backstage and just be backstage. And I just remember he and I just going, Dan was hanging out in the back and, I guess trying to get out the hot sun. And he and I, we walked up to Dan and just had a conversation with the guy. And I was just like, this is just so surreal. Like, never in my life would I have thought we'd be invited to just be backstage to interview everybody, talk to everybody. And, and I mean, the good news is, the cool thing was the guys knew who we were, because I was able to meet them in Houston, and of course we had Trevor on weeks before that, so he was just super, super stoked. And it's just I think the word is surreal.
That is the word of the night, was surreal. I mean, I was in Tucson this weekend with them, and that was that was, I can't, I'm still trying to kind of shake myself from the whole thing, wake up from this awesome dream.
It's hard to wake up from that.
Yeah.
I mean, you are living somewhat of a dream, right? I mean, growing
yes
up,
and no. I mean, yes and no.
Yeah.
We still got a ways to go, like I think professionally I got a ways to, there's still a lot to do to get where I need to go. And, we're just as a whole, Mike and I and the business, and just there's a lot of work to do to get us to where we need to be,
There's a lot of fun, but there is a lot of progress that, and it's going to continue that way. A lot of progress to be made.
Yeah.
And, it's definitely, a lot of people don't get to see that aspect or that side, because like you just said, it's business. And that's we got a little taste of that at Sweet Stock, and it was really interesting because we were able to act as fans, but we also had to be professional. We had to we had things that we were told we needed to do, and but that's really, really cool for you to put it like that, because it's work.
Because you want to get to the point where it's your job, and you're successful, and you're thriving from music. I mean, before the pandemic, it was possible to and people think, oh, you're in the music business, you're going to make millions of dollars. That's what it's going to take to be successful, and that's not correct.
Mm-hmm.
You can live, and you could be a musician, and you could be a guy with, or a girl, or a group with, 500,000. No, I wouldn't say that's a lot. Maybe 50,000 followers, and still make $100,000 a year doing shows and between streaming and everything. You could still make a living off music and not be Post Malone or Backstreet Boys or anybody like that. It's possible. I've seen it. They do it in country rap all the time. The top guys are living, and they're living well. They're not selling anywhere near what mainstream's selling. So it's possible to live off music, and I think that's where where I want to be a millionaire like everybody else, but I'd be happy with making a career out of it. And
I wouldn't know what to do with $1 million, man. I think I'd like to join that crew where we're able to get like $100,000, like, because I in my opinion, I find that those kind of people, everything's different when you go see those kind of people, when you meet those kind of people, and it's just, I've met these millionaires. I've met a lot of millionaires in my life, but I've also met these people who are just doing these smaller, condensed, more intimate shows.
Right.
And the energy, everything about it is just completely different and off because it's, so unfamiliar,
Right.
Everybody's laid back too. I mean, they're laid back when you meet them. They're not in a pressure to go run to somewhere else, unless they are, of course. But I mean, they take the time to meet their fans and talk to you and take pictures. And that's, to me, with social media, again, tying it back, that's where you're going to separate yourself, because that's where you get your following, not your one and dones, the ones that are going to roll with you through the ups and downs,
Yep. O-Town and Brad, they have the best VIP.
Yes,
that's what I heard.
I could definitely say that. I got to do the where I bring Brad his cup and he introduces me, and but it was so much more than that, to me, but also so much more, period, because it wasn't a quick 5-second thing. I mean, of course, Brad invited me to go eat PF Chang's. We got all the pictures we wanted. I mean, there was so much more for that little cost versus what I paid 5 times more and got so much less.
Yes. They're the best at the VIPs. No question in my mind. That's why their fans remain their fans. The Townies are the best fans.
Oh, yes.
Period.
Look, we talked to a lot of the Townies, and they are just so amazing. I was talking to one today. I think she's here actually, but she was telling me that she's going to 2 out of the 3 or 4 shows, and I was like, I wish I could, and she was saying like, oh, it's only like this much money, and versus like you go see one person and it's still like 10 times more what it costs, and which is really, and one thing I like about O-Town and LFOs, where they go, they always do things that's like not too far off. It's not like LA here and then Washington here the next day, so people, most of the Townies that we know, they go to every single show, or 85% of the entire line shows.
I think a lot of the Pop 2K, that's Matt. That's Matt Raffle. Booking those shows, So shout out to Matt. Treated me great from the beginning. Matt Raffle's awesome.
He is definitely awesome.
The Townies. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I mean, Sin City. Going back to that, Trevor and I sat and I said, look, we could do it a couple different ways. It's up to you. I'm not going to force you any way. We can figure it out. So, but in my head, I wanted to release the song and I wanted to have 2 remixes. I went to the best dance label in the world, the #1 dance label. They got 6 #1s on Billboard. This guy knows what he's doing. He's close here. We met with him. I said, it's up to you, Trevor. Let's do it. We did it. #1 on iTunes dance chart. I mean, how about that? Crazy. I got my first plaque. iTunes, right? My first iTunes plaque. People probably look at me like, well, what does that mean? That means we were #1 that day on iTunes, or that 2 days, whatever it was that we held on to. That says a lot. And as a Billboard, no, iTunes is a step in the right direction, right? It's a meaningful chart.
Oh yeah.
It tells you that the O-Town fans downloaded the song. Not 20, not 30, not 50, probably hundreds.
Yeah.
Downloaded that song and kept it, and then someone else heard it. It stuck around for a while. So it, and then, I can't. Well, so the original, we got to number 2. The remixes got to number 1.
Yeah.
Basically is what it was. So even with the original, we got to number 2.
Yeah.
With the remixes, and they're still playing on Sirius Radio.
Yeah, they are.
Playing on Sirius Radio, and it's just, I'm so indebted to Trevor for trusting me, with his baby, his song. That's his song. That was the one, and we want to make a video, and we do. He wants to make that video, man. I want him to make a video, but what he wants to do is so extravagant. It's in Vegas. How do you live up to what you want to do and what the song says? That's the toughest challenge. And we're not done with the song yet. It's not. I'm telling you, hold on for the next couple of weeks. There's something else possibly on the horizon. So we're not even done with it. In 2 years, we're not done with it because that song, we're trying to get it to Vegas somehow, right? Licensed, NFL, Raiders, whatever.
That's perfect.
Right. It is. So, there's just, Trevor, man, I owe the guy for trusting me. He made it kind of a small dream of mine to get an official plaque,
I mean, we have a bunch of things on our wall, but we don't have a plaque.
I mean, you could if you work, you just work hard,
Yeah.
I tell people, don't let anybody, crap on your dreams, man. You just keep pushing through, and people tell you, if people tell Frick and Frack, don't stop. You guys are on to something. Keep pushing. This is what then keep doing it. Like don't be, I'm like, oh gee, shucks, nah. But at some point you gotta say, you know what, you're right. I'm gonna keep pushing in music because there's something in me that makes me, pretty good at what I do. So this goes for the same for you guys. Like you guys just keep pushing through, man, and good things are gonna happen, for everybody. And you guys are good dudes, and I believe in karma too. So good karma is gonna come back and bless you guys. Believe me.
I would definitely say we definitely appreciate that, man. Because it's always good to hear kind words, especially in the world that we live in. And also want to give you props for recognizing your worth. Because I mean, you could have said, you know what, Mike, I'm good. Like I don't want this. I don't want this. And who knows where you would be in your life now, but like, you went for what you love.
Yeah.
And that's so important because a lot of people feel like they can't do what they love.
Right.
It becomes a side hobby, or it becomes something else, or it doesn't, in fact, a lot of people just give things up.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to see that, the encouragement from you, because that's what I see when I look at you as someone who continues rising, above everything, which is, what we definitely do want to do,
Absolutely. And you're going to have your people. Look, I know people snicker behind my back.
Oh,
and
sure.
They're, music business. What are you doing? You ain't making no money. And it's like it's all got to be all about the money, or it's, what do you do? You're not doing anything. It's, people don't realize, what we're doing is you're building your brand, you're building your network. You guys, every time you guys have somebody on, you guys have somebody else that's maybe more of a name, and another, and before you know, you guys are having. I mean, you guys had Backstreet Boy on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we sure did.
I mean, and people are going to laugh. Say, "Oh, boy band, they sell out arenas. What do you do? You're packing bags at a grocery store." Like that's the kind of stuff that I deal with. Yeah. I know people are snickering, and
us too,
right?
Us too, man. And it's terrible. Family, friends, you name it. We continue going through it daily, especially on my end, because I hear a lot of snickering, pretty much daily. But I mean, it's not about them, you know. It's about you know, it's like you know, it's about the works that we're doing.
Right.
And you know, there's so much evidence in what we're doing is good, because we see it in our inbox. You know, we get messages every single day.
Correct.
People saying, you know, this girl, actually, Miss Jamie, who was in here earlier, she said, you know, I love your show. There's not, you know, it's so much fun every single week. You know, I really appreciate you continuing. I mean, you know, we're on episode 62 episodes, you know, and, you know, we're not stopping, you know.
Why would you? You're on a roll, you know?
Yeah.
And guess what? Friends, I'm lucky enough because I got a circle of friends that support me. They're not laughing and snickering behind my back. I got family that don't even know what the heck I do, right? Wow. And, you know, nobody even – I got people that I've worked with in the business that don't share my posts. They're supposed to be my guys and my people. I got people, you know, but I just move on. I don't really focus on that, because to focus on something like that is, you know, it's taking important energy away from what you're trying to accomplish. So don't worry about the people that aren't sharing your page. You know, or you know, there's a lot of people that, you know, that they don't want to see you succeed. You know, I want to see my friends and my family succeed. I want to see everybody succeed. Don't care about anything else. Hey, Mike Caputo in the building.
Oh, look at Mr. Mike Caputo.
He's a handsome fella, isn't he?
He is. Look at that cut.
Look at that guy.
I've actually never seen him look like that. He's always had a hat on, and I've never seen his bald head like that.
Yeah, he's a good-looking cat.
Yeah, he is, man.
Yeah, man.
He inspires me to go work out, but I just don't. So
same here. That's my guy, man. Yeah.
I think a lot of that goes back to the question that Caleb asked you early on, man, is, you know, was there any hesitation to come back? Was there any hesitation to say yes? And you immediately told us no. So there was no hesitation to get back into the music game. You know, listen, I had minimal success, but for Mike, somebody like Mike to kind of recognize that, told me, what the hell are you doing? Like, don't, you know, like, man up and you know, don't let a failure, or it's not even failure, just, you know, the lack of immediate success get to you. You got to keep pushing. And you know, Mike gives me words. You know, I called him one day and he was like, dude, stop talking like that. Because I had one of those days. And he's like, no, that's not you. And I was like, all right, you're right. I snapped out of it. And that's it. Like, you know, that's what he does. He probably doesn't like that, but he's my mentor, and that's what I call him. You know, I still got a lot to learn from the guy. So yeah, I mean, I no hesitation to come back into the game.
I mean, you know, we continue learning. This is this is like a lifelong learning lesson for us, because there's times that we do the same thing. We're like, oh, you know, the doubts start creeping in, you know, and but like, you know, Matt and I rely on each other for us to say, hey, get in your place. Like, you know, that's not true. I know you haven't, you know, we might be having a bad day and, you know, something might have happened. We have to keep reminding ourselves, like, tomorrow's a whole nother day. We're going to feel completely different, you know?
Right.
And it's always, it's important. It's important to have somebody who, you know, who gets those, you know, thoughts out of their head and kind of recognizes and says, like, hey, that's not how you're going to feel tomorrow.
Right. Know? We're human. We're going to have our days where we're off. And you got to push through, you know, and that's when I say, holy crap, I sat there and I had a conversation with Johnny Wright.
Oh, I still can't believe
it. I want to talk about that. Johnny Wright. Yeah. What do you want to? What do you want?
I should have went.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
We'll get to one of the goats, one of the icons. Something I think that you guys are second to none at, some of the best, is the content. You're always going live. You're always posting clips. You're always sharing things. That's the world we live in these days, whether people like it or not. That's the game this is.
Correct.
So you guys are some of the best at that, going from different angles from what the crowd's not seeing and going live so the rest of the world can see it.
Yes.
I mean, where did you come up with kind of strategy? Hey, we're going to release this content that some of these people haven't paid for, but that's going to keep them coming back type deal, you know?
It's just natural. There was no, I mean, from my end, I can't speak for like Mike, but from my end, it's just like, you know, it's at the shows. I want my friends who aren't there, and my people that maybe that are on my Facebook page or Instagram. I want them to see what I do, even from a little backstage. I try not to get invade too much, but a little backstage access, a little bit. And it's even when I'm at the studio. I'll go live from the studio, or I'll Snapchat on studio and show you the plaques of the guy that the label that we're working at. Trevor and I were working with. It's stuff like that, and people see that, and maybe it's a little flex, and I call it flex, and you have to flex a little bit in this to get just don't lie. I don't lie, but a little flex doesn't hurt you, right? A little flex in the business doesn't hurt you, and when I'm at the studio and I got Trevor and Alyssa in there, I'm recording. I'm because I don't know if I'm going to get to be in a studio with Trevor anymore. I don't know. This could be a one-shot deal. I don't know that. So I'm recording everything, not only for my personal archives, but for people to see that this isn't a joke. This is real stuff. You're going to see more coming up. Like, I'm going to Boston next weekend. You're going to see a lot of stuff probably from me, from the red carpet that I'll be at.
I can't wait.
Right. So for me, it's no game plan. To me, it's just common sense as a manager, which I once was, pretty much was. It's content. Artists have to put out content at least three times a day. I think artists have to put content. And then when they don't, they say, well, how come I can't get 30,000 streams in 3 months? You're not putting content out. You're not pushing your song.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a social media world, and you have to keep pushing that. And everything you put out has to be about your music.
Yeah. Yeah. We've actually, funny enough, kind of changed some things about, what we're doing with our socials, because we, Matt and I both agree, like, the show is the most important, it's most important. Because, our social, is about, is the frickin' Frack Show.
Correct.
So, it's very important for people to recognize what we're doing and what's most important. And the only way you could show that is by displaying the content that's on on those socials,
That's correct. I mean, social media is, it's not going anywhere.
No.
You have to be, TikTok. Unfortunately, there's a million people that can sing, and you have to find your niche, and you have to find your edge. You got to get TikTok. There's different strategies and stuff to get to break an artist. So, that's the world we live in, man. It's not the 90s or 80s where I'm looking to get that record deal. I walk into an office with my backpack and my rhyme book. Those days are over. Oh. It's all about the social media. And
it's so true, man. It's so true.
Hashtags. I hashtag the crap out of everything.
Yep.
And I try not to over tag, because I don't want to tag people that aren't involved. So if I'm tagging a picture with me and Belle Biv DeVoe, I'm tagging Belle Biv DeVoe, New Edition, that kind. I'm not tagging, Interscope Records or like that. People have a bad habit of doing that too. But
yeah, they do.
Hashtagging is key too. You have to hashtag correctly, to get people to see. And then people are like, well, what's he do? And they're looking my down. Oh, okay. This guy. Oh, all right. This guy's involved with LFO and O-Town and Trevor. And okay. Oh, Johnny Wright. Oh, Belle Biv DeVoe. And then, K7,
Yeah.
Right.
And it's definitely important, because I have a friend of mine he has like, I think 1 million followers on TikTok. And I had asked him a while back. I said,
wow.
How'd you get them from there? And he's like, look at my videos. I have about 40 hashtags. And he's like, I do that for every single video, and people just find me. And he likes to dance. He does a lot of dancing and singing.
Right.
And so, he would tag anything and everything. And I mean, apparently it worked, because he started with 0, and that's the only thing he's done.
Hashtags are key. I can't tell you. Yeah. I'm giving you pearls here.
We're still learning.
I'm kidding. Hashtags are key, man. They are. They're key when you're posting stuff. I can't say that enough.
That's so crazy. That just it blows my mind. Like, and it's like Brad that you work with, who came up that wasn't the case. Like that's
No.
fascinating.
Right.
I mean, with the times you have to.
Yeah. It's crazy how with the world we live in the music business as it is right now. Maybe 20 years ago we released Sin City. We might have made a bunch of money off it. Maybe who knows? But with the music, the way it's shaped and the way Spotify pays and Apple Music pays and iTunes pays. I mean, my distributions through Sony are, Universal Ingrooves, Universal Music. My distribution through 418 Music, who owns the distribution. So I have legit distribution.
Yeah.
They take a little chunk of it, So it's like everybody's got their hand. By the time it gets to me and the artist, it's like there's really. What do you want to do? You guys want to go get burgers? We can go get burgers.
We've heard it's changed a lot.
Right. Yeah. So the music business is definitely changing, but I'm thankful for Trevor for that for getting me that plaque. You're probably tired of me saying that, but
no, man. Look, it's an accomplishment. It's something. Like I said before, it's something you should be proud of and stand with. And we're thankful for Trevor too, because he's just an all-around amazing guy. He's a huge supporter of the show, and he's just just a good guy. He's a really genuine guy.
he hung out. I mean, I introduced him to my circle of friends, and I mean, every Sunday he'd come over. We'd play. We throw the bags. We barbecue. He's such a positive energy.
Yeah.
When he didn't show up, it's like, why isn't Trevor here?
Right.
It's like, what? Geez, guys. Like, but he's such a great energy.
Yeah. We definitely got that from him at Sweet Stock, watching him go crazy for Bone Thugs, and it was so, he's just like us.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. That's the best way to describe
he
him.
is
Just like us.
I've worked with lesser artists that really didn't have a fan base, that were just not easy to work with, and they knew it all. And Trevor was kind of just like, Marco, let's, I run everything by him because that's the person I am. And he was just kind of like, trust me, trust Gino from shout out to Gino from 418 Music.
Yeah.
He trusted him. Me, Trevor, and I are together, and we signed a deal with him, so they're our partners in the one song. It's a single deal, which is the Sin City. So Trevor and I are partners with Gino from 418 Music, who, is a well-known DJ in the East Coast in his own right. So, so we got that, and of course, again, we got something in the work. Carly Underwood, she's, I mentioned her earlier, and I'm really excited for her. I can't wait for you guys to hear her, and we're taking our time, and Mike's taking his time. He's got a very, legit plan. And we have a date in our mind that we think is going to, where we're going to start to show off to the world and start executing the plan. She's already come to a couple shows with us.
Wow.
And we walked around, and there you go. Debbie met her.
Shout out to Debbie.
Shout out to Debbie. Debbie's awesome. I can't say enough about Carly. I'm very excited about Carly. And Marley too. Carly and Marley, it's great. Marley in her own right. What Mike's done with Carly with Marley is unreal. So I'm excited, for her as well. But with Carly, I'm here from the beginning with her.
Yeah.
And it's a small world because she's, from my area, and she knows my friend's daughter. So it's like this whole little thing. But I'm excited for her, and I think we have a legit shot with Carly to be very successful with her.
Wow.
I do. That's how highly I think of her.
Yeah.
But it's like anything else. I got to put the work in. Mike's got to put the work in. Carly's definitely got to put the work in. I mean, she's the one, right? There's a million people that can sing and dance out there, and we have to work. I always when I do hashtags, one of my things is outwork everyone. That's my I'm not saying I work harder than anybody else, but in my head, I have to outwork everybody to get where I'm going. So that's my mottos, as outwork everyone. And I think we have a good team behind Carly, and we're gonna do just that. We're gonna outwork everybody and get to where we need to go.
That's fantastic, though, man.
She's awesome. She's awesome. I can't wait to have you guys say, "Hey, can we have Carly on the show?" Yeah, you can. Yes, you can.
100%. I mean,
open invite.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, she's awesome.
When you think about it, can you kind of walk us through what's it like going and kind of giving a direction to someone who's like, like I guess you can say like underground in a way. What's it like watching an artist go from this to where she is now to where she's gonna go?
So, again, we're still at the infancy stage of what Carly's doing.
Yeah.
What I have to go with, it would go on is with P Lane. So P Lane, again, talking about a kid who lives in a little small town in Mississippi, who had maybe 100 followers on Instagram. So, we had to go, we did lives, we did, we did everything possible to up his status, on social media. We released a couple songs, we pushed them, we met people, we went out, we flew out to places and we met people. We went to Vegas and handed out, we did the footwork there.
Yeah.
And, and we got some leverage with a song and they wanted this, this company wanted to sign it and they did. And to watch, his just every day was another 30 people that would, that would just follow him, and then another one and another one. And I'm like, dude, you're not paying, he's like, hell no, I'm not paying for no stream, in his Southern accent. Sorry if it's horrible, but and so it's just, and some of the stuff that we went through, and people talking smack and thinking, we're about to hit 1 million streams. We're about 100,000 away from 1 million streams. People saying it's fake and they're not real streams. It took us 3.5 years to get to 1 million streams. There's nothing fake about. And if we're going through a label, you can't buy fake streams on labels.
Yeah,
because that label's going to they're going to lose the distribution, and that's and it was through 418. 418, that's his business. So fake streams are not the way to go. So I just watched him grow as an artist, as a person. We learned the music business. What we thought was cool wasn't cool. What we thought was going to help us didn't help us. Getting on certain shows and dealing with certain people in that genre really didn't help us, and it really hurt us because they didn't want to see a young guy like him take their spot. And we got So we had a lot of that going on. So just to watch him grow in the business and do shows like yours, interviews, and he just carried himself well. But he's more of a hip hop singer, rapper type of. Called himself the country T-Pain's what he really called himself. But
I would have loved it. I'm gonna
right.
I dug that.
He dabbled in. I guess they call it auto tune. I don't even know what he call it, but pitch correction. Right, the pitch correction. Right. But I think it's a different, with Carly, it's different. You're talking about developing this young lady, coming up with the right songs, the right look, getting following, and then Mike doing what he does, and me just sitting there saying, okay, let me take notes here. And let's go. And I'm really, really, really interested in seeing where this goes with her. I'm confident. She's shown the willingness to do what it takes to go get it. As far as like hopping on a train last second and going up to pop star boot camp, and doing all that stuff that you need to do, and then working out, eating right. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be done as an artist. Practice your singing. Post correct stuff on social media. There's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be done, in order to develop. But she's got it, in my opinion. I wouldn't co-sign anybody I didn't think really had it. It's a little different than trying to get P Lane signed,
Oh yeah.
to a beautiful 22-year-old, 21-year-old, 20, whatever she is, future pop star, with a great voice. It's a whole different ball game here.
Wow.
Yeah.
People are talking about her voice and how good she sounds in the comments.
Yeah. Hey, Carly, she's in the room. Hey, Carly, girl.
She says hello.
Yes. Yeah. If you go look at her Instagram, I think it's Carly Underwood Music now.
Awesome. Yeah. Be sure to check her out, guys. We'll definitely be doing that right after.
Yeah. Listen, I would not involve my name, with somebody I didn't believe.
Yeah.
Was. And plus, with Mike Caputo involved, you have the best shot, one of the best shots to make it if Mike Caputo's backing you.
I can see that.
That's like me as his guy now.
Mm-hmm.
This is my shot at the music business. The way I want to get involved.
Yeah.
Is Mike Caputo. This is my shot. He's got the Rolodex, contact list, whatever the heck you want to call it. He's got that. He's got the reputation. I was talking to Biv, and he knows who Mike Caputo is. So it's like, I don't mean to name drop, but it's just, it is what it is. So it's even for her, she's got, she knows what she has, or she should know what she has in Mike Caputo. Yeah. I go back 20 years wanting to be like Mike Caputo. Here I am, is one of his guys, so I recognize what I have in him as a mentor. So, it's going to be an interesting year. I'm telling you, it is.
So we got about 5 minutes left here. What's next for you, and what's next for the people that you're working with?
I want to release. We're still going to push the Sin City, obviously. Mm-hmm. I think what we're going to do, I'm going to do next is talk to Trevor about his, follow up. What he wants to do as a follow up, which I kind of know. I'm not going to ruin it, but I kind of know what the follow up is, and how he wants to handle it. We still got the Pop 2K tour, which from what I understand may grow next year. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know what that means. But
hopefully come to Louisiana.
We got to talk to Matt Raffle about that one.
I know.
And then we got, of course, Marley, this amazing 13-year-old that Mike's working with, actress, singer. And then we have Carly. Next it's I think, an LFO, actually Brad, whenever he needs me, I'm all he's got to do is flash the sign in the air and I'm there. I'll fly out to wherever he needs me to be. And then, and it's just, there's some stuff I can't really say right now because it's not official, but there's some stuff in the works for springtime, hopefully. And there's a whole bunch of other things, that are just kind of stokes in the fire. But it's really going to be, going on and doing some more Pop 2K, maybe some more O-Town, Trevor, LFO and Carly, Carly's a big part of the schedule. So, it's hard because things pop up here and there. So it's hard to say where, what exactly is next. But I know Carly's a big, we have a time frame, I think, I do it in my head, of what, when we want to start to really put the foot on the gas. The
best thing or one of the most important things to remember is the stokes, is really how you start a flame. You know? And
exactly.
Well
said.
Everything that you have ever done in your life, started with, stoking just very, very slowly. And eventually things were ignited and that fire was lit, man. So just always remember,
absolutely.
The first stoke is just the beginning, man.
Yes, 100%. It's well said, man. Yeah. So got a busy year and I pray that, I pray that it's going to be a very beneficial year for everybody, including yourselves. You guys are awesome, dude. You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you.
I love what you guys do. Keep doing what you do. Get those big guests, and keep working on your interview skills and whatever, your promotion and everything else that you got to do. No different than anybody else, man. You guys are, I think you guys got something with this show, and I don't think you should give up on it at all, man. Keep pushing forward on it. If you need me for anything, I'm a message away, my man.
Yeah, you're so easy to contact. Social media.
yeah, right. I mean, I'll give you my phone number. I don't,
We definitely appreciate that, and that goes along with you, man. If you need anything, you need promote anything at all, man. We're absolutely 100% always down to do stuff like that. And
absolutely,
you need us to fly and go give some advice someday to O-Town or LFO. We're always a call away as well, and we both don't live too far. So
I think the next big show that's worth going out, I think you guys should fly out to.
We really want to.
I think the next one, and it, you guys got a few months out because I think this is it for really for the Pop 2K at this point.
Yeah.
So
I was really lucky for my first O-Town LFO show. It wasn't part of the Pop 2K. It was just O-Town and LFO.
Oh, okay.
So they both O-Town had done like an hour and 30-minute show, and LFO had done like 15, 20.
Right.
But it was incredible because all the ladies who were all around me was like, "Oh, this is your first show. Oh my goodness, you're gonna love it because this is their full show."
Right.
Right. And yes, and I was really lucky for my first show to see them that way.
I suggest Vegas. I'll be there in Vegas. I think it's in May. Yes.
Yeah.
But there may be something pop up. There may be something that pops up before that's really big, like a Sweet Stock type of show, which I regret missing every day. So we're definitely going to hook up. We're definitely going to hook up and have some fun at one of these shows, man. I appreciate you guys. I do.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Hey, man, let's get together and let's pick out a date to have Carly on the show in the near future when you guys are ready for that, man.
Absolutely. That's got to be signed off by Mike Caputo. When he signs off on it, we can definitely get her on it.
We'll talk to Mike.
You're going to talk to Mike?
Let us know.
Definitely. Hey, she's awesome. So
we love you, man.
You guys.
You're the best, man. We look forward to talking and working with you guys soon. This has been episode 62 of the Frickin' Frack Show. This is a podcast for the fans. You're up, Caleb.
By the fans.
Yo, it's the Frickin' Frack Show, a podcast for the fans by the fans.
This is the Frickin' Frack Show, a podcast for the fans by the fans.
Frickin' Frack Show, a podcast for the fans by the fans.